marks the 11th episode of the OMAKASE. I'm your host TC, and joining me as always is my co-host Sushi. Hey brother, welcome back. How was your trip?
What's up, GM? Irashaimase. Good to be
Yo,
back. Thank you for welcoming
wow.
back. Always here with you. I wasn't here last week, but thanks for the love
Uh-huh.
and always um, helping out as well when I'm
Got you
away.
covered. No problem, bro. Last week one hell of a show. We had the Dan team up there. Actually, what I just risked was multitasking to secure my 8th Fest tickets, meanwhile asking questions. I'm sorry that I'm not that professional, but I managed to secure some tickets for 8th Fest. I'm going back home in Hong Kong um this October, although 8th Fest in November. But yeah, it's always great to have you back. How was the trip?
It was nice. Barcelona was hot. London was cool. I didn't know that London was like three times the price for food, so that was funny and pretty fun. But yeah, overall it was good. Thanks for asking.
Did you try those Chinese takeaway in London?
No, dude, I had like a tourist, like I had like English breakfast, like
Uh-huh.
bangers and mash. But I do miss Asian food, so it's good to be back.
Right. The reason that I asked is because I got ripped off a lot while I was studying in the UK during that
I
time,
feel you. I
ordering
feel you.
takeaways. And I just gained enormous amount of weight eating like takeaway food and stuff like that. But anyways, welcome back. Happy to have you. We miss you. So before we dive in tonight, let's quickly go through some weekly updates in the Web3 space, bro, shall we?
Let's go.
Yeah, it's been exciting. A crazy week that PayPal introduced a stablecoin early this week. It's called the PayPal USD. It's designed for payments and rolling out. Pretty much you're able to buy, sell, hold, and transfer PYUSD. I tried to use it out here in Singapore, but ever since I logged into my PayPal account, it says that my country um is not ready yet. So I assume they will be slowly launching and get access to different places. Have you tried logging into PayPal and unlock this function in Indonesia?
Actually, not yet. I think this is new news to me, so I'll be sure to
Okay.
check it out.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's a bullish news since you can transfer to your Ethereum wallet. I assume it to transfer back to MetaMask since MetaMask is pretty much the majority of you know Web3 people using it, and yeah, I think it's quite a bullish news.
Bullish.
And apart from all these updates, we also see Doodles having all these amazing events coming up. They have a crazy collab with Crocs. To be honest, not a Crocs fan. I bought a Crocs when I was in Miami because it's that cheap. But how you feel about this collab? Do you like Crocs yourself, Sushi?
I never owned Crocs before, but I know they're cool. I was tempted to get a Crocs. I think it was a collaboration with Beams, like a
Uh-huh.
Japanese brand.
Uh-huh.
But my wife was
Wow.
like, yeah, my wife was like, no, you're not wearing Crocs. So I'm sticking with Nikes for now, but maybe one day.
Yeah, I was super skeptical, on Crocs, never a fan. Hated those holes, but I know that sounds wrong, but when you come to Singapore, pretty much 8 out of 10 Singaporeans are wearing Crocs with shorts. So sometimes I just need to blend in. So I did buy Crocs that I mentioned, but I see this brand, it's rebranding, doing a lot of collabs, especially with Palace, my favorite street band brand. And I think what about Crocs is not important, but to allow people out in the Web2 world to understand and to know what doodles are doing. Of course, art is top level, top notch, and all these events rolling out. And tomorrow, basically, there's a new final toy drop. I'm sure later, Yongsen can throw us more alphas and doodles with camp in Chicago on the 17th of August. I know it's we've been starting all these doodles news because now I'm actually looking for doodles. So I feel that hey, actually these are bullish news that how Web3 projects having all these collaborations, all these IRL events, which we are very bullish on. So yeah, we love it. We love it. So yeah, we saw sushi pin it on top. Thanks for that. So let's back to the artifact. What you got for the artifact, sushi?
Right. And Sushi's radar, I think most of you guys already know if maybe you haven't known, but as artifact creator as well, pretty excited that the artifact creators introduced the new logo. It looks really dope. It's based, it's called Wireframe. That's what they're calling it. And it's designed by Toby Tooth. And Toby, if you guys didn't know, he is the visual design director of Artifact. I'm a big fan of his work. A lot of the logos, a lot of the art direction comes from him. So it looks really cool, really dope and clean. Artifact also introduced the Artifact Radio. So it's their official SoundCloud account. For those of you who are still into SoundCloud, you can check it out. It's displaying all the original soundtracks created by Jam Pants, and you'll find all the collection tracks, unreleased music, events, even event ambience, and tons of all of the audio materials that Artifact created. It's all there. It's not just music, actually. If you also missed the Creator Spaces by Artifact Creators, the full episodes will be there in their SoundCloud. So make sure you follow their SoundCloud, check out their uploads, go catch the vibe. SoundCloud.com/artifact radio. That's where you can find it. We already talked about doodles with Crocs. I think we already know that. I think most of us are already aware of that huge collaboration. But dude, they also dropped another news. Sorry, we're not going to talk about Artifact anymore, but Doodles, I think, is kind of on fire right now. They are in Japan tomorrow, I believe. So if you guys are in Tokyo, they have collaborated with 2G. And if you guys didn't know, 2G is actually lifestyle and kind of pop culture streetwear brand based in Shibuya, Tokyo. The store is in Shibuya Parko. So if you're in Tokyo, I think they're gonna display their newest vinyl toys. It's looking cool, and I'm sure Bombay will probably check it out. Um, yeah, and in another news, just a small news again from the Azuki Elementals. They just got their update on the Azuki website. Now, if you're an Elemental holders, you can equip an off-chain Elementals background and also equip beans. So if you have beans, you can also equip them to your Elementals. And finally, my boy Matt Verse, our CloneX fam as well, went to Otakon, which is like an anime convention happening in the US. And he went there to see how weebs and gamers would react to the Azuki Elementals trailer. It's pretty fun to always see kind of like the Web 2 reactions and I enjoyed the video. I hope he makes another video for CloneX videos, hopefully in the future, and get more awareness on our project as well in Web 2, and also to the nerds and weebs out there because I'm a weeb, I'm a gamer, and hopefully, yeah, maybe I can even do the two here in Indonesia. I know there's a lot more news from Web3 gods, Planet X minting and whatnot, but those are my highlights. TC, back to you, fam.
Yep. So I also pinned it on top, Matt's interview, and do check out this video. This content is amazing, and read this tweet from 9gag CEO this evening. He said that instead of bringing people to Web3, we bring Web3 to people. So I think this is a huge alpha, and there shouldn't be because we're all human beings, right? And especially for the two of us in clones who are freaking humans, we love it. And for the artifact creators' new logo, bullish about it, how they break down, this is a symbol innovation and also reflection of our creative ecosystem. It's a dynamic evolution, which definitely proven by Ali's latest 5 minute movie. So do check it out. I'm sure that all the clones you guys have been featured. You have seen the great things done by this talent. See how he made this video in roughly 15 days by only himself with zero budget, with free software like Blender. It's crazy. Although we're still in a bear market, there's still a lot of amazing things happening in Web3. We're bullish on builders and creators who continue to deliver value and push the freaking boundaries despite the market conditions. And of course, we're also grateful for you guys who are here with us and support our weekly spaces. And before we begin our 11th episode of the show, please like and retweet this space to help more people join us in listening to these amazing stories from our guest speakers we have tonight. All right, so hello.
Yo, dude.
Right, so in our weekly show, we take pride in showcasing talented creators and with our community. Would you want to welcome our first guest speaker of the night?
For sure, dude. We're excited, and Irashai Masa, welcome to Vision. What's up, Vision? Bonjour.
Yo, what's good, guys? How's
What's
it
good?
going?
Hello.
What's good,
Yo,
dude?
glad to be here, guys. It's looking like a good night.
Dude, for sure. Thank you so much, Vision, for being here, taking your time. For those that don't know, Vision is in Paris, France right now. So I appreciate you giving some time for the Omakase show and being here with us and sharing your story. So, welcome to the Omakase show, Vision. And before we begin and go through all the fun stuff, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Vision and what do you do IRL? And also maybe how you got into Web3 / NFTs and also into CloneX and Artifact. Sorry, that's a
Yeah,
lot for one question.
yeah, no problem. So basically, the whole journey started about 2 years ago. So I was studying neuroscience at McGill University in Canada, and I had just finished my degree. And one of my skater friends back in like 2020 kept on telling me to buy XRP. And I was like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, what is this blockchain stuff you're so passionate about? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, like, time to get into the rabbit hole. I like all this tech stuff anyways. So, like, might as well. And so I got really into it, researched a lot about it. And then eventually I saw Artifacts post one of their first. I think I saw the VFX stuff that they were posting on Instagram, and I got really hooked. I was like, "Oh, this looks like a company for the young gaming anime. Like, finally, someone's trying to bridge all of these different subcultures that no one's really managed to put together and bundle as one." So I got really interested in that, and then I was in Montreal at the time, which is pretty booming, Web3 speaking. And there was this gallery called Zero X Society. It was this physical space where they would contact a bunch of 3D designers from honestly crazy places. A lot of them were from Universal Studios, Disney, the craziest animation studios. And they would tell them, yo, like, you guys should make a short piece of content. It was mostly 3D. And we're going to display them in our gallery, and you guys will take 95% of anything sold. And so it was working really well, and they had a lot of really cool events, just bringing a bunch of the Web3 startups in Montreal, a lot of devs, a lot of creators, and all of that. And so I just kept on going there. And since I was really looking into 3D at that point, I would always be trying to recommend like 3D artists for them to contact. And eventually they ended up just contacting a lot of the people that I mentioned. So they asked me if I want to work there. And so I did. And that's basically, yeah, that's where the journey started. And then at that same time, I was writing my thesis in neuroscience about dreams and virtual worlds. Well, dreams and virtual realities, rather. And I was basically arguing that dreams are a form of virtual reality because there are no inputs and outputs that your senses can receive while you're sleeping, and yet you're still able to create the experience of a world and the experience of being there. And so I was just pinpointing this generative feature of the brain. So yeah, I've always been in this tech kind of landscape, and then I graduated. So this was a year and a half ago now, and I just went traveling for a year essentially. I went to Paris for 6 months, just to rekindle my. I mean, so I'm actually French, but I never lived in France, so I decided to go there for 6 months. A lot of my friends were there. Just a lot of skating. Got really tapped in with the fashion community there, and then yeah, we sneaked into the Rick Owens show. Um, a lot of cool stuff. And then I came back from that and I built a PC, downloaded Unreal Engine, and just started getting to work. um, yeah, that's my story thus far.
Holy crap, dude! What a backstory. So we got a scientist, a neuroscientist in the building. Um, First of all, congrats for graduating as well as a neuroscience scientist, I guess, and also, damn, you had 6 months in Paris, and now you're building Visionverse. So I think I'm pretty bullish on you that it's only been a year, right? Like a couple of years, a year basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, we actually started Visionverse 5 months ago with Pierre. The story behind that is I basically just popped in the clone inside of Unreal and spent like a week trying to figure out how to animate him and create the animation blueprint and blah blah blah. And then I was like, yo, like I spent so much time on this, might as well post it on Twitter. Like I'm sure some people like it. And then a lot of people liked it. And then the founders were like DMing me and shit, and I don't know. And then Pierre saw this, and this other guy that we knew put us in contact. And then I got in a call with Pierre. So 0x Pierre, by the way, who's actually just a legendary developer in France. Basically works with like the Travis Scotts and Playboy Cardis of France, doing web dev. He does smart contracts. He does server optimization. He made the launcher. Like this is an all-around back-end genius, honestly. And so I basically just told him what I was trying to build. I had all these virtual worlds that I had on my PC, but we were trying to get them online for everyone. So we bought a server, and Pierre coded up the launcher, made it so that anyone that downloads the launcher can connect to these virtual worlds online. And that was basically the foundation of the project. We slowly started contacting people in the community to start beta testing the game, just to show them that like, yo, like one day your clones will be in this game and they'll be playable and there will be a blockchain wallet associated with them. They will be buying and selling, all of that. So we were just warming everyone up to the idea of this new platform. And now it's been 5 months of just incubating a lot of the tech that we've been building. And we actually just finished the Spawn as your clone technology. And so basically the way this works is that you connect your wallet to inside of the game. And Pierre created an API that basically reads your traits on OpenSea and reconstructs your clone inside of the game. So basically anyone who has sent us their files on our website can literally spawn into the game as their playable character with an associated blockchain wallet, with in-game purchases, buying and selling, and all that stuff. And then we also recreated Artifact's inventory system. So basically you can equip, unequip anything that you buy. And this doesn't have to be Artifact related at all. We're actually working with Sinomine and Savant, bringing in all of their wearables inside of the game as purchasable assets, so that you can easily switch between your drip, essentially.
That's fucking sick, Vision. And I already sent my files last night. Hopefully, I can get my clone.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
get
I
the?
saw that. Yeah, I got both of you guys'. Thank you.
Dude, TC also sent his. All right, dope.
Of course,
Hey,
man. I sent him a DM. I'm already in Discord, man. I never tell him, Vision. I never tell Sushi about this.
all right. So
You gotta
before we,
change your PFP, Sushi. Just saying.
I shall, dude. And before we go to the nitty gritty stuff, I think you already you're excited to talk about the project. But before we go dive into that, you're creating a game, right? So I wanted to know what's your favorite video game as a video game builder and why.
mm, mm. Dude, honestly, I think it might be God of War 3. Um, yeah, I don't know. Something about that game really struck me. I think I've always loved mythology in general. I thought those were really powerful stories, and I'm kind of sad that they've kind of died down in this era. So I'm kind of trying to bring that back with what we're building, honestly. And I just love the aesthetic, man. I love the grandeur, the Olympian, the hero's journey. I mean, this is actually like a villain's journey, but yeah, just the fact that you can go and fight off all of these mythological gods, steal their weapons, and every time you kill a god, the world actually changes to reflect that god's fading power. So, like, you kill Poseidon, and then all of the water comes up, and everything's just flooded. Um, yeah, no, there's something really, yeah, something really gripped me about that game. I really like the aesthetics of it. I love Roman architecture, Roman temples, Greek armor, and stuff like that. So those are definitely going to be very prevalent in the Visionverse. We're definitely trying to give this Olympian kind of new mythology, a sort of mythology for the new age, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, dude. And
yeah.
great choice. Pretty old game, but I enjoyed beating the fuck out of these gods with Kratos. Did you enjoy the recent ones, the new ones, the
So
new
I
God of
actually
War?
didn't play them. I actually didn't play them yet. I've been, dude, honestly, I've just been in Unreal like most of my time. Uh, but the last game I played was actually Cyberpunk 2077. And that was really fun. Honestly, a lot of people hated on that, and I understand why, but I actually had a great time. I think the world building was actually phenomenal. Like the ads, like the actual ads in the game are crazy. Like I don't, yeah, I don't know. I honestly really liked it, and I love the story. The story was super super gripping. Um, yeah, honestly, I really liked Cyberpunk 2077.
There you go. I will try to play Cyberpunk. I think I'm halfway there, but I'm playing other games. But yeah, it's good to hear your video games and how video games kind of also inspire you in your creations. And speaking of creations, you've been making crazy dope creations through Wonder Dynamics with your clone, doing
Yeah.
crazy skateboarding tricks. It's fucking crazy. It's amazing. My question is, can you make a Wonder Dynamics video for little old me? That's not the question. The real question is, can you tell us why you like Wonder Dynamics and what is it for those that don't know? And what's the process like of making those videos?
Yeah, the process is fairly easy. For those that don't know, Wonder Dynamics is a VFX, basically a very good AI mocap software where you give them a video and they're going to scan it and basically recreate the skeleton of the character that it scans such that you can put your own character over it and have it, um, well, be your character that ends up doing the actions. It's fairly easy to use. The only thing that's a hassle and is probably blocking a lot of people from using it right now is their naming convention. Their naming convention is a real hassle, and getting your character in there is not the easiest thing. But I mean, there are a bunch of tutorials online which literally tell you how to do it. So, I mean, there's no reason to not be able to use this. But that is one caveat that is associated with the software.
Dude, I hope you can teach me the tips and tricks after the spaces, and hopefully I can get my clone down there making all those cool tricks and looking all cool. Uh, like you. That's the vision. That's my vision. On to the next question. We also know that we know that you're a dope creator creating these Wonder Dynamics AI kind of videos, but you're also a builder. We know we've heard about Visionverse just now, and I believe it's a Web3 based game that embarks on an immersive adventure to the Oasis, a play-to-mint open world game where you can spawn your clone. You told us a bit about this. Can you tell us more about Visionverse and the reason why you're building this kind of project? It's amazing, and we would love to hear more about this.
Yeah. So basically, this started because I got kind of annoyed that a lot of people were talking about the metaverse and not actually delivering. I got kind of pissed seeing all of the like the bad animations on Cyber, or like the very low quality graphics, or just I don't know, just all of that. And I was like, come on, guys! Like Unreal Engine exists. It is the most powerful software that you can be learning right now. You can literally do any of the things that on Cyber, Spatial, all of these platforms are doing, except in AAA graphics with AAA animations with blockchain integrated, and just it's I don't know. I was like, if no one's gonna build this, like I am. So here we are. Like the way that we're seeing the project right now is there are actually endless possibilities. We're just building core building blocks, core like technology that can be used and be used as like a proof of concept for other things to come. So that's why we started with the inventory system. So basically, you connect your wallet, we recreate your clone as a 3D playable character, which has never been done yet. And this is not some on Cyber shitty animation stuff. Like this is actually AAA graphics with a very nice blend spacing animation. Um, and and then yeah, we saw that Artifact wasn't going to drop their inventory system, so I was just like, all right, let me just recreate it. I mean, they built it in Unreal, so yeah, we just remade it. I had Dom, shout out Dom, by the way, another one on our team, who redid the UI UX for that and all of the website and all of the stuff in game. Um, and yeah, so we just had the inventory going. Um, but yeah, so we there's a lot of different stuff we want to accomplish with this. Obviously, it's been relatively early. It's still super early, I'd say, as we just finished the sponsor with Clone Technology, and we haven't even opened the beta for everyone. We're just still incubating everything. But our launcher can host up to 300 to 500 people right now. And so we're slowly just talking with different partners. The first thing that we're really going to be implementing is fashion. I really want to touch and double down on fashion. And so that's why we're contacting all of these different clothing brands. I think a big problem in Web3 right now is that a lot of people are creating really cool, let's say, uh, animations of a shirt that's like turning on itself, and they're like, oh, you can go buy that shirt like as an NFT, like yay. But like, you can't really wear this shirt anywhere, like unless you're forging it eventually. But this is our approach to solving that issue, is that if you are creating wearables, you can just go on our website or literally just DM me and be like, yo, I want to sell the stuff that I've been making in Blender as wearables in the game. We'll put you in the store. I'll vertex paint your clothing onto the rig, and then you'll be selling your NFTs through the game, and people will actually be able to put them in their inventory and wear them. And so that's what I mean by this idea of just creating the core building blocks of the technology. We don't have an actual video game coming out tomorrow, but what we have is core building blocks that can be put together in a way that we can create immersive experiences. So tomorrow, if Tropics wants to do a live concert, he can literally just DM us and be like, yo, I want to invite 300 people for a live concert, and I want it to be AAA graphics this time. So like, please. And like, we could just host that experience for them and make it super easy. You would just go on our website, we would be pixel streaming it, and you would just log in as your own clone, go in there. Maybe there'll be some Tropics merch. You can go buy some merch from Tropics, wear it on you, throw some emotes in there because you're having fun. Um, and then, yeah, that would be an experience in the Visionverse. And then other experiences would be, just going to the Sin Nominate Island and just going to see their store in AAA graphics. You're literally looking at this beautiful store that they designed and was like, whoa, like this brand just came alive for me, because not only am I just seeing like their 2D website, I'm actually visiting their 3D environment. So that's another experience that could happen. And then we have some really exciting stuff coming with Savannah as well, but I don't know how much I can say, but Unreal really gives us insane possibilities in what can be designed gameplay wise and tech wise and blockchain wise. And so once again, we're just building core building blocks to be able to create almost any experience, so to speak, and really just give a place for brands to create an immersive, to really express themselves, to create in 3D what their brand is. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sick vision. First of all, I want to say that holy shit. I mean, you're ahead of even the Artifact team. They're making the inventory app as we speak with Unreal, but you guys are already building it out first. So, dude, that's bullish. And I also wanted to mention here at Omakase, TC likes fashion. He's a fashion icon. If you check his
Yes.
timeline, we love fashion. And dude, we can't wait to kind of equip fashion, digital fashion in Visionverse. It's going to be dope. I want to talk about, before I move on to the next question, I want to kind of follow up on your project, like the kind of aesthetics, because I know Vision, you have eyes for aesthetics and like art as well. There's this thing about Visionverse that caught my eye. It has kind of like this, even your clone, it has kind of this vaporwave kind of like vibe to it. Where did you get this inspiration from? Yeah.
Um, Damn, that's a good question. Damn, I don't even know where this stems from. I guess a lot of anime. I just got really hooked on this iridescent cloudscape, dreamlike fantasy kind of aesthetic. And then I felt like the chrome was the perfect addition. I got really obsessed with chrome last year. I had like this chrome spray paint. I like spray painted my board and spray painted my like the Nike on my shoe, and I was just skating that like every day. And then I think that it just transitioned into that. Yeah, I don't really know where it comes from, man.
Maybe from the anime what you watch. But I think I also got a chrome tote bag from Paris actually. So maybe
Oh
Paris played a
shit!
part. Yeah, dude.
No, dude.
But it got wrecked because it's made out of like this weird material. I think I got it from that museum. Anyway, moving on to the next question. I mean, like building this kind of unreal like project, it's got to be hard, and I'm pretty sure um, it's taking time. It's been half a year. Can you also tell us the process in building such a massive open world game like this, like Visionverse, and how long has it been since? Yeah, we already know how long you've been building this. So yeah, let's just talk about the process.
Yeah. So yeah, the process is really case specific, I guess, because there are a few different things that I'll be doing. So the inventory is mostly like backend logic, UI widgets, lighting, making the scene look nice. And then on the other hand, there's the whole like designing maps, trying to figure out like what catches the eye first. What are the big things that you want to see? How do you want to make people feel when they get in there? And the map building has been pretty fun and easy for me. But the whole I the whole back end node logic, all that stuff has been pretty tough, honestly. But thankfully, I've just made a lot of great friends that are really good at this. Pierre is actually just awesome at that, even though he barely knows and really just understands logic, I guess. Same with Pending. Shout out Pending Reality. He's creating this dope VTubing plugin and has helped me a lot. Honestly, has just taught me a lot about Unreal. A lot of really cool plugins to use, lighting, scene management, rendering stuff. Honestly, just dope guy. Highly recommend you guys check his stuff out as well. But then I think the hardest thing that I had to do right now was the spawn as your clone stuff. So to create the spawn as your clone tech, you need to create a modular character, which means that you're separating every single mesh of the character so that it can be replaced by any other mesh. So you're basically dividing the torso, the arms, the hands, the legs, the feet, the head, so that you can replace it with Zapsio's Murakami tongue, or the Yellow Jacket Gang like Puffer, Um, and so that was a challenge because not only do you need to be able to separate those, you also need to be this still needs to be a playable character, right? So there was a big issue with getting the animations and the clothes to work in parallel. And the big issue was that artifacts stuff was just badly vertex painted sometimes, and so I basically had to recreate a sort of alternate Genesis 8 rig that's actually exactly the same if you look at the bones and stuff, but somehow it didn't work with the garments. So I had to just completely redo that and then find this way to vertex paint every single garment that we're putting inside of the game, which now I've basically got it on lock. But it was a tough 2 weeks when I was trying to figure that one out. So yeah, I'd say that was the main caveat. I actually don't deal with the whole smart contract blockchain API stuff. That's all Pierre. That is his domain. So yeah, on my end, it definitely was the modular character stuff that was the toughest.
Sure, man. And shout out to the artifact creators as well. It's cool that you have this vision. Vision has this vision, and you find friends in Web3 that are helping you out, making this vision come to life. So it's really dope. Trust the process and vision. I think you also answered kind of my next question, which was your biggest challenge, which was spawning the clones. Hopefully, my clone won't be too hard. It's very clean. It doesn't have anything. It just has purple hair and a hoodie.
Yeah,
And
I think yours can already be made right now, actually, because we have all those traits.
dude, let's fucking go, bro. TC, yours is a bit hard to make because you got like some chains and whatnot. So you gotta
No, I think we got those as well. Actually, I just don't have that jacket yet. I don't think.
Mine's is just rare than yours, all right? Blue always wins the battle. So don't
yeah,
even get me
Yeah.
started, Sushi. And shout out to you, Fission. Thanks for that. I mean, like, yeah,
yeah, dude. So the beta Visionverse is out now, you guys. So if you want to test it out, go to Visionverse, check out their Visionverse Twitter account. And when can we start to play the full game? When can we start kind of equipping the drips and whatnot? When can we expect for that?
That's a good question. Yeah. So for everyone that wants to join and test it out, yeah, just go on our website. I'll probably put it in here as well, but it's on the Visionverse Twitter page. If you guys go in there and just hop in the Discord, we'll just whitelist you, and you'll be able to download the beta inside the Discord. We haven't actually implemented a lot of the updates yet. The Spawner Clone stuff is not there yet, as well as the new map. So we're just taking this slowly. We're actually just going to be incubating for the next 4 months. Make sure that everything is spotless, clean, everything's secure. And then we'll probably launch with some of the fashion stuff that we got going with the brands. And then we're really open to collaborations. Honestly, if you guys want to host an event and just leverage the technology, we're super open to that. We're super easy to contact. Honestly, me, Pierre, Dom. If you guys are in the Discord, that makes it even easier. Yeah, I mean, let's just all build together. Um, but yeah, I'm thinking probably like Q1 next year. We'll probably maybe we'll launch something before the end of the year. That would be fun. But no, we're just taking this slowly, really incubating, making sure that everything's working very well and optimized and stuff.
For sure, dude. And I promise that I will jump into the Discord tonight. I know you've been meaning to ask me to go there. And thanks for that as well. Thanks for the alpha. So I know you're in Paris right now. Comment ça va? That's all the French I
Okay.
know. How's Paris, and what are you doing there? That's my problem and final question.
Dude, so a lot of my friends ended up in Paris, so it's about reconnecting with them. And there are a lot of really cool creators out here, building a lot of cool stuff in fashion. A lot of skaters actually contacted me through Insta that wanted some clips made. And then I've been trying to get a hold of some people in the fashion industry for a fashion show that I'm trying to hold in the Visionverse. So yeah, it's about meeting new people, some business stuff, a lot of skating, and then yeah, I'm probably just gonna be hitting a lot of stores and buying some new drip. um, yeah, I'm gonna be here for the next 3 weeks, I think, and then I'll be back in San Francisco to get the grind going.
Dude, hope you have a good time in Paris. And dude, take some pics. Also, go to that curry place that I told you about.
Oh yeah.
That's the major alpha in Damarai. I hope I didn't butcher that. TC, before that was my final question. TC, do you have any questions as well for Vision, or even from the audience? If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the tweet of the spaces. But Vision, dude, great to have you here. Do you have any closing remarks? TC, do you have any questions?
Yeah, before Vision, do a wrap up. I just want to thank you for your insights, man. I mean, it definitely a brand new perspective on the technology that you and Pierre have built in Vision First. I can't wait to try the beta version with my CloneX and explore the world. That once again, thank you for making our CloneX experience enjoyable. And it's amazing to see our CloneX inside the game. So shout out to you. Enjoy your trip in Paris. Dive into those street vibes with fashion, art, everything. I mean, you're in a good place. You can tell that you are also in mentally and physically. So yeah, bullish on you and the things that you are building together with your team.
Wow, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, it was a pleasure being on here. If anyone has any questions, I'd love to answer them. And yeah, once again, just thank you for having me. Honestly.
No, dude, thank you for being here. Merci beaucoup.
Yep.
Thank you again for your time here, bro. If you need to go, and because I know you're in Paris and having a holiday or slash work there as well, you feel free to do so. But if you want to stay, we would love that as well. But appreciate you for being here, man. Oh, any closing remarks from you, man? That's it.
Um, I had one more thing that I wanted to touch about what you said about bringing Web3 to people.
Yeah, dude.
Um, I
Yes,
think
sir.
the biggest issue right now is that yeah, everyone's just marketing for other Web3 people, and that's why if you guys look at my Insta is nothing like what I post on Twitter. I'm actually just targeting the whole skater community, which I know best, and just trying to mix the genres between plug music, which is pretty underground, um, and then skateboarding, like more niche skaters, and then the whole 3D CGI stuff, kind of like what Artifact was doing back in the day. And then that way, you're getting a bunch of people that have nothing to do with Web3 that are all in the age group that are actually interested in gaming. And all these, you've got all these people like listening to you now. And so that's how we're going to be bringing in most of the people in the Visionverse. Like, we're not marketing this for Web3 at all. People in Web3 are thinking this is cool because they're CloneXs and we've integrated the technology basically seamlessly. But we're not going to market this as like an NFT project. This is not an NFT project. We're not even going to mention the word NFT. This is digital collectibles. This is about fashion, about drip, about discovering this video game, about skating, about culture. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick because I think a lot of people are getting it wrong right now. And yeah,
Yeah, dude. For sure. I love your take. TC, you wanted to say something. You wanted to react.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think like yeah, I Instagram this afternoon. We follow each other. So you have a massive following, but it's not just the massive following that you have, but it's the content, the people that you build connection with. It's the vibes. It's the hobbies that you have. It's something that you flow internally, right? And that's how you attract it and get attached with like-minded people. So I understand that when it comes to the Web3 culture, sometimes we are like, we are gonna make it, whack me, like all these kind of, we're still early, like all these terms. Sometimes even though we are in Web3, we feel like a bit of annoyed because it's all ourselves blindly to believe into it, but somehow if you know, right, that's pretty true that people would want to understand you a bit more, and that's how we share about Web3. And even though it's like we don't even have to mention the word NFTs because people just come to you, they feel the vibes, they see that this freaking blue hair guy coming in and there subtly, intentionally in Instagram or whatever platform. Somehow it's just like people doing merchandise for their NFTs. We love it because we own these NFTs, right? But to people out there, they don't get it. They don't understand about it. But what you're doing right now, you're not just building a game, you're putting fashion, you are putting applicable, practical practice that people can come into it and to have this sort of experience. And for you, just now you shared that your background, having a skater background, crazy fashion shows, the people that you have met. It's crazy. I mean, if the people know you in general, that's how you attracted people to know more about the space. So yeah, you and
Yeah, dude. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that's been that's been the mission, honestly. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are seeing this.
love it, love it. Thank you again for your time. Do tune in, and hey, audiences, do hit Vision to follow. I know a lot of Artifact family definitely have followed Vision already, but if you haven't yet, do follow this legend up here. Thank you, brother. All
All
right,
right.
so
Vision.
thank
Yeah.
you, Vision.
Thank
You
you
know,
very much, guys. It was wonderful being here. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stay here a bit. I'm really interested in what young
let's
Sun has as
go.
well. So yeah, I'll be listening in. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. In our final segment, we are incredibly honored to welcome the father of RLL events, the founder of Hello Web 3, the one and only Young Sun to our show.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yo. Yup, nice and sound. How are you?
All right. Good. It's 11:24 in Korea. It's a nice way
Crazy.
to cap off the day with great chat with you guys.
Exactly. Bullish on Web3. The reason is in Twitter Spaces we have people, from Paris. I'm from Singapore. Sushi now in Indonesia. A lot of you probably from Japan, from the States, and now we have a good fan from Korea.
All right.
Awesome.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
Okay. So, hey, bro,
Okay.
can you briefly introduce yourself? Just briefly mention where you're from, but let us know where you're currently based. Let us know you more about like your favorite food, hobbies, so we can all know more about you.
Yeah. So I am from South Korea, so I'm based in Seoul, basically. But I go here and there, especially for NFT event. I don't like care where it is. If it sounds interesting, I fly. So I've been to most of the larger IRL events that happened across the last year, I would say, ever since I joined Web3. So I'm a person who's very interested in like culture and technology, like just generally speaking. I like to eat stuff like, I'm interested in fashion, entertainment. I'm also very interested in like future tech. Hence, like all of my career is mostly based in like tech companies. And whenever there's like new stuff coming up, like I would kind of buy it and try it out. So like I'm one of those people who kind of purchases like the big ass iPod when it came out and it was like super expensive and stuff. It would just go dead if you drop it, but you would still use it. I would call myself like a relative early adopter. And here we are, right? So I guess like we're all in the same mold in that sense, because we're still very early, in my opinion.
Love it. In our show, we are grateful to have interviewed speakers across Asia, such as Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Japan. So, what is it like to live in Seoul, like the capital of South Korea, and what is the general perception of people in Korea regarding NFTs?
Yeah, I mean, like Seoul is a very, very, I would say, an underrated city.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people who came would be very surprised in how like well furbished the city is, basically. And it's kind of a mix of China and Japan, in my opinion, and also a mold of like top cities like New York. Very fast paced generally, but very orderly. So lot like there aren't like many honkings going on, and like I can tell you that public transportation is super super clean. That's something that I can say. I can't really take subway in New York, to be honest. Um, that's Seoul, but I think what's interesting about Seoul is that Seoul is a very very fast follower, and it like Seoul has been one of the cities where adoption of technology or adoption of culture has been pretty quick in terms of like adopting fast going cultures from Europe or like fashions from outside of the world. That's been Seoul, or that's been Korea. But what's interesting these times or last few years is that now
Sorry, guys, is this just me, or it's Youngsun is rugging?
Yeah, Youngsun is ragging.
No props. Let me send him we can get him reconnected. But just now when he mentioned about the dynamics in Korea, it's insane because like the last time that I was in Korea was probably like when I was 6 years old. So it's always crazy that how I, like watch all these Korean dramas. Yeah, I know it's lame that I refer, Korea as Korean dramas, but that's actually how I, get into the Korean scene and to understand a little bit more the language, oppa, right? But when it comes to food, entertainment, story, we can definitely tell how and um very cultural centric. Would you say so, Sushi?
Yeah, dude. I was in Korea also until man, long time ago. 2015, I think 2016. But it's not just the pop culture that's kind of thriving right now.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's an illustrator artist as well. She's saying just great things about the illustration and art scene in Korea. It's actually growing, and now with young son, I'm sure the NFTs scene is also thriving. But I also love the food. Shout out to Korean fried chicken.
Sorry.
Young son, welcome
I
back.
think I was rugged briefly.
Props, welcome back.
I'm trying to test out like PC Twitter Space
Yeah,
because I use like a better mic here, but I think it's a little bit unstable.
no
To
problem.
continue on
Nice and
like
sound
soul
right now.
stuff, like NFT
Mhm.
scene generally, I think because of the fact that like Koreans very hot tempered, so things pick up really quickly, but it also kind of dies very fast. So last year, I don't know if some of you guys were interested in Clayton NFTs, and like NFTs were booming and it was going like nuts, like 10x, like 50x for lots of projects, and everyone was interested. Like there was like a massive interest into NFTs, like everyone was jumping into the space. This year with the market down, I think to be honest, there's like half and half. So there's like negative sentiment towards NFTs because it is associated with cryptocurrency, and there has been a lot of incidents in Seoul, right? Including Luna, and other incidents that kind of painted a bad picture on cryptocurrency in general, and that kind of led to people's public's general distaste towards NFTs. However, what's interesting is during this time, like lots of bigger companies, including one of the biggest companies in Korea, are more interested in NFTs and trying to adopt NFTs. So there's some funny pictures in Korea, whereas like one of the biggest retail department stores have their own NFT project, and it is embedded to their membership app, which is in mobile, and you can redeem stuff if you go to those department store. And one of their store outlets are actually, grossing number one in terms of like revenue across the globe. So it's above the likes of Lafayette or like other really, really top department stores, and they're incorporating NFTs into their stores. So there's some funny stuff going on. So there's like, I would say, two sides of stuff. One is that generally because of market, there's a bit of a distaste, but at the same time, there's lots of effort to incorporate this technology from bigger companies. And builders or people who are genuinely interested, collectors, we're just having our chill time. There's less interest, but we're just kind of still having dinner together. And there are some, cool communities forming. Blue chip communities have been, I would say, decreased a little bit in terms of number because some sold out. But still, people who's left, we're pretty excited to kind of just ride this market together, and some people just buy more. I can see I see Terry down there bought another clone recently, so there's more purchases going on for some of us. So I'd say that's how it is right now.
Well, I guess what you just shared about the dynamics in Seoul, it's just like Web3, right? It's super intense. Things got heated up, you know, and things just faded straight away. It's nice that you touch upon on different big Web2 companies that actually also executing different NFTs with memberships, everything. We can definitely tell how Seoul has been come to technology. Of course, with Samsung, like all these big brands out there. So I know you have a full-time job as a product manager in Web2. Can you briefly share with us what it is about and whether any advantages for you in building in Web3?
Yeah, I mean, to be super exact, it is somewhat of a Web3-ish because I'm helping out a crypto derivative trading app called Flipster. I used to work at companies like Uber or Coupang, which is one of the largest e-commerce giants like Amazon of Korea. And I think one of the things that I saw was that like the reason I was working as a product manager was because I was always interested in making my own product, and I always wanted to be able to come out and be able to build something and have knowledge to actually build stuff and make a business out of it. But at the time, like mobile services were the thing, right? So it was just natural to be interested in product management, and that's number one. And I think being able to create and be able to have that capability enabled me to slot in very fast into Web3. So I was a product manager at Coupang, and the way that I entered into Web3 was basically I just changed my job into a blockchain company called Origin Protocol last year. So it was very smooth because I didn't have to change my job, right? I was still a product manager. I was still building websites or mobile services, mainly websites for Origin Protocol back at the day. Like it had NFT marketplace called Origin Story that was powering like Pudgy Penguin official marketplaces still to date. So it wasn't hard for me to actually just get a job at something Web3. I wanted to be able to build something. So that was the first thing I did. Now that I am doing my own stuff as well, I am more kind of in the sidestep in terms of like doing like a full-time stuff. But still, I think being able to still, have that touch into creating services allow me to always kind of find opportunities that would make a good service within Web3. Because I think right now what we lack is that we have like a huge communities, we have like great IPs and content, but I don't think we have enough like great services or mobile apps or like great products that would enable these type of like infrastructure that we have now in Web3. And that's something that I'm just kind of genuinely interested in, like looking towards the future.
I think like for your roles in Web2 previously as a product manager allows you to understand what your customer or client needs or wants. So when it comes to doing your projects in Web3, obviously you would come in from a consumer perspective and to understand what sort of things they're looking for. So I see that you have been a strong pillar of different communities like Doodles, Artifact, and KuCats. What drives you to build communities despite there being so much negativity or noise in the space? And what about Web3 that you're bullish on?
Two things. I mean, like basically number one is because it's just fun to hang out with people with similar interests, like it is for everything else, right? And if you are passionate enough to spend like 30K 50K into a certain JPEG, you mean it, right? It's not a joke. And to have that group of people kind of get together and just talk about, we can go on and talk about like CloneX traits for hours, and that's what people did within our group in like CloneX Korea. Same goes with like so basically that's number one. So having that like resonating common interest of people with similar philosophy, because if you resonate with CloneX, you probably are like very interested in digital identity, metaverse, or like a digital fashion, Murakami maybe, or certain things that are part of that consist CloneX or Artifact. I think similarly speaking, Doodles is like very cute. It's got like a very colorful vibes. So like people who love that would join that community. So I think that's number one. I think the second part of it is I saw PFPs or these communities as digital fashion. What I mean by that is, so this is something that you kind of rock as you would wear your clothings, but as your profile. So I thought it as like a form of digital fashion, and also a form of a new connection. Because previously you would connect like in legacy world, especially like in traditional communities like Korea, you would form communities around your school alumni, your geographic background, or your ethnicity, or your regional background, age, blah blah blah. Now, with like NFTs, or especially like with things like doodles, I was very shocked when I first went to like South by Southwest with the doodles activation, because I didn't know anyone there. I was like this random guy from South Korea just trying to learn NFT, and just like took a flight and flew there, right? But everyone was welcoming me. I was able to feel home instantly. So I think that's something that is very funny, and interesting. And as a person who's very interested in like social connections or like social services, that was something that really struck me and kind of had me instantly think, oh, this is something that I want to dig further, and maybe like create a service or something around this. Because I see this as like a future of social clubs, or a future of community, or a future of like a new way of connection, that kind of crosses boundaries. Because I didn't even know who like so I don't know who like Tino's like ethnic background or age is. I might know now, because I have more like conversations with him, but I don't know like all of his background. But I'm still very able to connect with him, chat with him, and have like good conversations with him. So I think that's why it was like an interesting way for me to kind of like connect with them. So those two are, I think, main reasons why I was always interested in these type of like community, and I was very like active in those communities, mainly because of like probably those two reasons.
Right, right, right. I feel you because like all these RL events, of obviously, you have your first time meeting all these PFPs, people behind all these PFPs, familiar PFPs, but when you see them in real life, you feel that, oh, it's actually a new friend, but you just got connected very quickly because believe into the same sort of things, belongs to the same project. It actually feels it's a safe zone, right? So jumping out from a comfort zone, but actually entering into another safe zone. So we know that you're not just an NFT maxi, but you also started a social platform called Hello Web 3. It is considered as one of the biggest culture and tech festivals focused on Web3 in Korea. In case there are audiences who may not be familiar with Hello Web 3, can you provide us with a brief overview of the project? So it would be fantastic if you could share some, project goals and mission about your project.
Yeah, so I think just like it's not anything very serious. It's something that it's an experiment that I was doing. I just wanted to see how people can be connected better. And initially we wanted to onboard people like that are outside of Web3, echoing like Vision's statement, right? Because NFT was something that I felt really like resonated, but at the same time, when I was looking from outside, it seemed very like financial, and it like the concept was pretty hard to grasp. You have to get in to actually know it, but like it's hard to get in. So um when I went to like the States and saw these like cool events, like, South by event by Doodles, and other like, NFTLA events, I was thinking like, why can't we have those like, fun and engaging event that are more casual in Korea? And if I came back to Korea and saw like, no offense to these like, existing like 99% of the conferences, like I just felt they were very boring, because these people were like professors or government officials, like preaching about NFT technology, and they've never had a MetaMask, or they never probably purchased a single NFT, and they were teaching me how to like utilize like NFT tech. So what a bullshit! Like, I mean, just like frankly speaking. So I was like, well, I think I can do better than that, and I just did it because I thought I could do better than that. Then I should just do it, right? So I hosted like an IRL event last year called Hello NFT, and that was kind of start of like my initiative. And basically it's not like a complete mission, and it's something that I just want to try out fun things to kind of, you know, connect people and maybe like try out Web3 technology. So this was basically I'm sharing some of our videos. Some of our videos from like last year, and I just am coming off of hosting a second iteration of that event this year, and we had like more than 1,000 people come in, and you know, everyone had a, you know, cool time. So the reason I'm hosting this event is like I don't want NFT to be looked upon as something that is like just like a speculative asset, but we want it to be looked more as something that is very culturally relevant, and people who can just kind of come in and enjoy our content and be kind of fascinated by like, oh, how could this technology empower things that I'm interested in, like such as fashion? How does that incorporate into it? So we invited G Money to like show people how you can kind of scan it and you have a social graph that is embedded into your fashion. We had one of the popular fashion designers that was kind of coming into Web3. She's already an established fashion designer, like shown on TV. She was interested in kind of getting into Web3, and we talked about what her vision was. So this was more kind of like a casual take on like what fashion industry might kind of look Web3 to. So now we also had like an entertainment session with like, you know, Cube Entertainment, people from JYP, people that were actually doing a Web3 type of entertainment, to kind of come up and talk about like what that would mean for them. So like in general, we wanted to kind of show people more about like envision a world where this technology would empower things that you love, be it gaming, entertainment, fashion, whatever you think that would suit it. With that, I think I always thought like experience is always better than, you know, just kind of like telling about it in a panel session. So we just kind of put up basically we put up a um, like this experience aspect to it too, and that's more of like, you know, food aspect or like a performance aspect, so people can just enjoy this event without having to be too serious about it. So that's basically the concept of like Hello NFT event.
Love it, because like you're able to grasp the essence of all these, you know, conventions, exhibitions, or panels. Normally they are boring as fuck, and everyone is just basically going there for a picture, and then they put it on Twitter, and then job done. They will go to all these side events and start to get party, and you know, like drinking alcohol from their shoes, right? So it's able to spot all these sort of experiences that you encountered while you were abroad, and you realize that you are capable to make something even better. And into the recent event that you and your team organized. So I actually have to pin it up, the tweets up there with G Money's tweet, and also Hello Web3, your platform. So it was a 2-day festival called Hello NFT that I just mentioned, and there was a massive lineup that involved speakers like G Money, Austin from the Doodles team, Dadas, the legendary artist in Korea, Gap, the Singaporean representative from ARC, and many more. How was it working with these amazing builders from all over the world in real life?
Yeah, it was a really cool experience, because last year we actually wanted to invite global speakers, but we weren't able to invite them because of like COVID issues, because it was just we were coming right off of COVID. It was hard to like invite some of them. This year we really wanted to kind of bridge that gap between like, you know, mainstream like regions like North America or Europe, where there's like lots of big projects going on, and kind of be able to introduce some of that to the Korean audience, because we're hosting an event in Korea, right? We want to be like, we wanted to make sure that this doesn't become like a small America, and like everyone just speaks English, and like it's just, you know, more or less like, you know, people just outside of the country. But we wanted to ensure that, you know, there are safe space from local people to kind of feel interested about, and still be able to like, showcase like some of the cool people that are out of town. Also, I think it's really interesting because Doodles or Pudgy Penguins, Step In, G Money, some of them kind of came over to Korea just for this event, and it was really interesting to see them engage with the local audience and kind of be like really like a a connecting like pillar into their project. Like for example, like Pudgy's Austin was literally supporting like a Pudgy Korea's booth for the entire day. He wasn't going anywhere. He was just like supporting the local community, and that was really cool to see. Whereas like also G Money was like first time in Korea, but he was very like engaging with like people like the local audience, giving them chance to like scan his T-shirt, and it gives people a really great experience, being able to like really be really close to these top figures. And sometimes it's actually better than being in NFT NYC or other bigger conferences because it's a smaller scale, so that means you get more exposure to these people. We only had like few international speakers, meaning that they get more exposure from local audience to have more attention too. So it was really nice, and because they were experts in the field, they have like lots of experience dealing with like panel sessions. We didn't really have to like prepare too much. It was just like on the fly, but they were like super professional, had great insights, and I like they also had a great experience. So like I'm hoping that we can have lots of them back. I actually wanted to have like Artifact presence at our event too. Schedule didn't work out, but like next year, hopefully, we can have them to kind of come over and have some CloneX Korean community also welcome them. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be an interesting event as well for that respect. But overall, it was a great experience for me. And I think it was a good experience for them too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, for the next event that you have, that's the one that I couldn't miss. I just pinned it up, the highlight for the 2 days event. So for you guys, you go to the pin tweet T-Town. You can, have a look, have a taste of the event that Young just mentioned. In the 2 day event, you touch on two main themes. So the first one is when will occur, and the second is culture and technology. Not to mention there were up to 10 freaking different topics for each theme. Is insane. How did you set all these topics, and where did you draw the inspiration?
Yeah. So like we intentionally split 2 days into Friday and Saturday. And basically like one of the reason is like if you host a conference and you do it only on the weekdays, people who you want to bring in cannot come because no one will take a leave to come to the conference, right? But at the same time, a lot of the like people who are builders and they're in the space because like Web3 is their work, they don't want to come in Saturdays because it's their like weekend, right? So we wanted to take a hybrid approach. And for Friday, a lot of it was from companies. So if you go to our website, like hellonft.live, and there's an English version to it too. But if you go to that programming, you can see that on Friday, there's lots of bigger company sessions about mass adoptions and how they are looking to enter into Web3 space. And large audience was mostly from the Web3 industry or bigger companies that was interested in Web3. They were able to come as their work, right? So, companies like Hyundai, Samsung, like larger companies like SK Telecom, all of them kind of came to listen to sessions about like how these industries are kind of taking a Web3 approach and, sharing their experiences. Like bigger gaming companies like, Nexon, they all came to kind of share same stories too. Now on Saturday, because like lots of people who are coming on Saturday, lots of them don't even know about Web3 and they just coming for like food and concerts or performances, drinks, stuff like that. We wanted to make it more casual and more cultural. So there were sessions kind of like related to gaming, fashion, entertainment, which are more culture and technology related, that anyone can just kind of sit down and listen casually. So that was the split in terms of like 2 days. Between the days, like every speaker, like 50-ish speaker in the program, were all like handpicked by our team. And like all of the titles were basically copyrighted also by us. And we wanted to do that like highly curated event, because if you have an audience that are new to the space, we want to ensure from an entertainment perspective that they have a good time and they feel entertained. So in order to do that, we wanted to make sure that the moderators were good, and also the speakers would have like great content to deliver that not only is about like, you know, super technical aspect of Web3, but also wider aspect in terms of that specific industry that you're covering, be it fashion, entertainment, gaming, or like community aspect. Also, we all, like one of the things that we always kind of try to focus is that we want to have community's voice on stage. It's not to say like you want to have every project come up and shield the shit out of them. It was more of like, you know, if you're kind of talking about how delicious a restaurant is, you can't always have the owner chef or the owners to come up and say how good your food is, right? Because that's not fun. We want to have these like, you know, bloggers or like, you know, these people who are customers come up. So we always have, last year and this year, like community members who are building on top of these IPs come up and speak about their experience, and sometimes grill the shit out of them too. So there was some grilling going on with the Doodles Fireside Chat too, but it was generally a fun experience. Like there were some people from Pudgy Penguin Korea come up and speak about her experience. There was someone from Noun's contributor who did like a sailing campaign with Noun's funding come up and talk about, you know, his experience. We also had some like, you know, like a coffee brand called Wake Up Word come up and talk about how they built a, you know, coffee brand on top of Bored Ape IP, and they're one of the Made by Apes #5 approved recently. So we get to kind of like learn about how these people are actually enjoying the ride, and that's something I see that a lot of people that are casually just sitting down are very interested. Even more so than like, you know, a big team coming up and speak about how wonderful their project is.
Thank you. I mean, that actually all the reasons that what motivates you to continue doing all these dope events, just having fun, but able to present all these amazing ideas, and executions are amazing. But what are the challenges did you face when organizing events, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of challenges because you're not like a big company hosting event, right? Because you don't have that like massive funding to kind
Mm-hmm.
of, you know, have that exposure. So you're, you know, on the onset, you're from like a back foot. So I think that's a challenge, and it's something that you know, I overcame with the support of local communities. So lots of community members or like people that are from like alpha groups, that are from like local blue chip communities, they're the ones who are kind of backbone of our event, and lots of audiences from them is kind of what kind of gets this event going. Obviously we have less exposure than like, you know, the event that is hosted by Soul City or that is hosted by like a big company with like, you know, much backed funding. But I think we have a like a distinct position because like we're more lean and we have more creative freedom to kind of like do whatever we want, and that's something that I think is a strong point, at least till now, to get the event kind of be at like a brand stage where we are now. We're getting some attention from outside of the country. You know, hopefully, like, you know, over time, I think it becomes a, you know, like a great event where like, you know, anyone from Asia can, you know, casually come over and enjoy like Bored and Hungry burgers, that was like doing a pop-up during our event, and get to kind of like experience global presence too. So that would be our short-term goal. But overall, just answering your question would be like, basically, I'm confident that I have like a big support from the local community or the local Web3 scene to kind of make this into success. And without it, I probably would have not been able to continue on this initiative.
Beautiful. Speaking of Bored and Hungry, is it Bored and Hungry, the burger? They will also be in Singapore tomorrow. So
Yeah,
they will
yeah,
be
they're doing
here
a
for
pop-up,
like,
right? Yeah.
yeah, so they will be here for like 10 days, 7 days, a week. Gotta be a week, and different communities will be invited every day. And the CloneX community in Singapore will also be there next week. So can't wait to meet all these dope people from the CloneX community. And for Young, I know there's like a specific message that you would like to give to your audiences that took part in the conference, right? You bring Web2 people, Web3 people together using different experiences for them to interact with the blockchain subtly and intentionally. I know that the tickets that you're doing are NFTs. There might be perks when they come to your events, might got airdrops, and that might link to any association with your future events. But with all these benefits, all these experiences, what is the specific message that you want to let them know?
Yeah, so yeah, you got a great point, because like, if you had our like ticket from last year, we literally had everyone claim their free ticket for this year. So everyone who came last year was able to free claim a ticket to this year with like free food, free conference, like free drinks, everything. But that was just one time thing, because I wanted to like really reward the Genesis like ticket purchasers who kind of trusted me and our event when it was on the onset of the first year, to kind of give them back the trust they kind of like put to us. Like the second, like I think the message is this, like basically, like I'm a person who's like always been interested in like how the world changes. And like in terms of looking at macro picture, if there's a mega trend, like you can't really fight against it. So I think in terms of personal strategy, it's always good to have your eyes and ears open and try to listen in what's going on in the world. You don't necessarily have to like put your whole like, fortune into spending into JPEGs. You don't need to do that. You don't need to like invest in Bitcoin to be able to be knowledgeable. But what I want to tell to like people, and what I do tell people, is that at least be interested in new technologies that come in. It'll definitely give you a chance, or at least like a front start into something that you want to try out. There is no reason, or there is no cost in being just interested in like, future, or being interested in the mega trend that might come to you. There's just only like two options, like two outcomes. One is that you benefit massively off from it. Two is that you don't benefit massively off from it, but you're still on top of the trend. So like either of the two, obviously the former is much better, but even if you don't like, become a millionaire, I think there's still lots of upside, having your eyes and ears open. You might, who knows, like what opportunity that might come in. And I think that's where I want to put my audiences to. We don't want to force anyone to do anything. We don't shill projects. What we do is, hey, this is something that is very interesting. This might be a thing in the future. Why don't you take, a look? Why don't you have a small interest in it? It might be it might be related to your own business or something that you might want to do. So when YouTube came out, it's a new tech, right? Lots of people were dismissive about it, but of the people who are very interested in these new tech and tried it out, some became very successful. So that's the lesson that I want to give out whenever these new tech, AI, blockchain, NFT, whatever comes out, is that like, why not like, give it an interest or give it like a small shot. So I would say that's the whole message behind Hello NFT, and hence the name Hello. It's basically an intro, right? So
Wow, love it. Love it. Yeah, because like when it comes to NFTs, any innovative ideas just make us as adults curious and asking questions like kids, right? And we actually lost this kind of essence the more we age. We feel that we have this experience, we know this shit going on. That's why we stop asking questions. So, having all these conventions and IRL events that you have um, organized actually raise a lot of questions, talking points, which stimulate all these people that came um, to be like a kid again. I know that sounds weird that I phrase this, but it's basically being curious again and having fun. So just now we touch upon the events that you have organized, the message that you want to, let your audience know. So what are the short and long-term plans for Hello Web 3? I know that it's a tough question, not because you guys been it's tough because you guys have just hosted a event in 2 weeks ago. So what up with the short-term and long-term plans for Hello Web 3?
yeah, so short-term plan, try to wrap up like the event operations and stuff. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we set out like a good plan to become a good bridge between different areas of Web3. So we host smaller events too. We used to do Twitter Spaces. We're kind of like a quasi media as well. I'm kind of thinking of a great way to kind of continue on the initiative so that it doesn't dilute our annual event, but at the same time keeps our audience or keep the community interested into things that we're doing. Such as I'm trying to make a NFT first sneakers for fun. And that's something that we'd love to do. Just things that are fun that gets people excited. It's going to be minted through NFTs, but we are going to go to a factory to create like a custom sneakers. It's not going to be something that's just a painted sneaker. We're going to be designing it from like sole to upper and everything, and be like, we want to allow people to kind of put their images or NFTs onto tongue or labels or some type of customization. It's gonna be a one of a kind thing. Where that's one of the initiative that I'm kind of trying to work out. I think second thing is that we're always like a product driven team, so we see our event as one of our products. And we want to do a social product too. So we're going to be kind of brainstorming our ideas around how do we better connect people. And by saying people, it seems very, very broad, but we want to address some people within the Web3 community first. So there's going to be something that probably would come out maybe early next year, or at least in first half of next year, that would allow some of our community to utilize and make a good use of. So that's our long-term plan. Obviously, next year Hello NFT would come. So if anyone is in Asia, if anyone is like close by, I can assure you that like if you do come, like it's gonna be a fun event, and we're gonna grow. So it's gonna be better than last year. I mean this year.
Damn, you got his words. For our audiences, if you have any questions that you wish to ask Yong-sun, now is a good time to do so. Simply hit the request button and I'll invite. So yeah, pretty bullish on what you just mentioned because like especially the sneakers, like during the weekend I was on the dot swoosh 3D files. Damn, I mean like I tried to a pair of OF1s with the tongue, the sole, everything, the laces. Basically, the whole design is so complicated. I thought it was easy as hell, but there are a lot of detail into. So shout out to you. Must be like super, hectic, and looking into all these details must be a challenge. But I can tell that you are doing things that you like, so it's a no-brainer for you. And so when can we expect? I mean, any travel plans to Singapore or Hong Kong for Token 2049 and 8 Fest, which we could meet in person?
I really hope so because I'm part of ARC community too, and
Uh-huh,
they're
uh-huh.
hosting stuff in
Yeah,
Token
we
2049.
connected in the app yesterday, right?
Yeah, and there's so much fun things going on. So I
Uh-huh.
really want to go. If I do decide to go, you'll be the first. You'll be the first person to,
Let's
you know.
go. Yeah, I mean, we have a range of crazy events coming up in Singapore during September 13th to 14th. In our next OMAKASE show, we'll be inviting different communities and project teams to come on to our show to share their side events and stuff like that. So don't miss that episode. And I can't wait to see you in person, Yong-sun. And Sushi, are you planning to come over? You sent me a DM this afternoon. No, you sent me a DM yesterday saying that you might be coming over. Now you FOMO?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
FOMO, and I want to go to Hello NFT as well next year because my wife wants to go to Seoul, so maybe that's the perfect time to go to Seoul as well. So, yeah, Singapore. I don't know. Hopefully, if my wife approves.
All right. Yeah, one stone. Is it one stone, two birds? Yeah. All right. Okay. Whatever. So as we come to the end of our space, I want to give a huge shout out and thanks to Yong Sun for sharing his incredible insights and taking the time to be here. It's already way past midnight in Korea, but we could tell from his passion and energy for Web3 are off the charts. You're a legend, man. I mean, being such a strong advocate of Web3 and making NFTs accessible to everyone. Don't forget, NFTs are more than just fancy JPEGs, guys. I mean, they open up endless possibilities, create unexpected connections, and unleash hidden talents you never knew you had. So Sushi, do you have anything that you wanna ask Yong-sun before we wrap the space, or any final word?
No, man. Again, kamsahamnida to Young Sun for being here and sharing your insights. It's very inspiring. Dude, what you're making isn't just events and community gatherings. I think you're making a movement and getting people to be interested in what we're addicted to, NFTs and Web3. So, man, shout out to you, and all the flowers go to you for making Hello NFT. Again, hopefully we can go to Korea next year. Still got time, right? So hope to see you there, young son, and maybe you can kind of recommend me some of the best like bulgogi and Korean fried chicken over there down in Seoul.
yeah, that's my area. Yeah. So
Amazing,
Let's
you
amazing.
go.
got covered.
Sushi, you are just so talented when it comes to languages. You can speak like, I mean, whenever we have guests from Japan, like you go down there, from Taiwan, you can speak Chinese. Just now you can speak French. Now you can speak Korean, bro.
Yep.
Bro,
But anyway, we hope the conversation with these two founders and different projects inspire and motivate you to stay and build. Despite their different approaches, both projects share the goal of making NFTs fun and bullish on the technology. There may be countless reasons to leave, but only one reason to stay, which is our faith. So for those who join us tonight for the first time, we first day at 9:30 p.m. SGT, and our goal is to bring diverse communities together with a special focus on the Asia community and always put our creators and builders first. All right, Susie, drop the bit before we say good night and good morning to our audiences.
all right, all right. Kamsahamnida, arigato gozaimasu.
Let's
Thank you, everybody,
go.
for being here. Have a good GM, GAG, wherever you are, and
Jeez.
have a great day.
Let's go.
Mr. Fantastic. Villain. What up, nigga? Hey, man, what's the word? Cracking, boy. So much shit, kid. Man, we have snitches, man. Shit is bugged out, man. Fuck, man. Niggas running their mouth. Telling everything. Everything. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Like profile low, like hey, and paid in full. Attract heavy cash, cause the game's too typical. Mr. Fantastic, long go like elastic. All my life in twin clocks that's made out of plastic. Instead of brown nosing nigga, fake ass bastard. Admiring my style, tour bust through Manhattan, plotting, playing the quickest. My flow's the sickest, my hoes be the thickest. My dro, the stickiest. Street nigga, stamped and bona fide. When beef jump, niggas come get me cause they know I ride. True to the ski mask, New York's my origin. Play a fake gangster like an old accordion. According to him, when the D's rushed in, complication from the wild testimony was thin. Cause this man to go up and off the board, hit him again. Lame rap snitch, nigga, even told on the Mexican. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be